stories from around the corner
and around the country.
You're listening to All the Best.
Proudly supported by the Art Gallery of New South Wales.
You're listening to All the Best from FBI Radio 94.5. I'm Kwame Slusher. This week, you get a sneak peek, or a sneak listen, to our Extraordinary Tales live storytelling event. But before we get into this week's episode, I want to acknowledge that I'm recording from stolen and Gadigal land, and pay my respect to Gadigal elders past and present, and also recognize that the area where FBI Radio is situated, Redfern, has long been a place of storytelling, strength, resistance, and resilience for First Nations communities. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. So in this episode, we are bringing you some of the stories from Extraordinary Tales, a live storytelling event that was held on the 12th of September. It's a collaboration between All the Best and Read to Me, a mix of stories, sound production, and illustrations. And I know, you can't see the illustrations, so I want you to close your eyes and let the stories do their work on the sketch pad of your mind. In our first story, Millie finds a unique way to safely approach magpies during swooping season.
2020 was my gap year, but this story happened before the world caught fire. My parents had just adopted a new puppy, and I instantly fell in love with her. And she loved going on walks and getting to know the big, wide world of suburban Mudgee. And as we got tired of circling the same block that we lived on over again, I kept getting warnings about magpies in the area. I adore magpies. I write about them a lot. They are beautiful and fiercely intelligent creatures, and they can even remember human faces. And I heard a piece of advice once, which I never actually checked but should have, that if you hold your hands above your head to protect yourself when it's swooping season, the magpies will actually understand that as an aggression towards them. And I decided that I didn't want to contribute to their stress. I was in their domain after all, their kingdom amongst the blue gums. And this story is about some monarchs that I met that day. Blue surroundings. I feel like I'm drowning. I'm holding my breath because I know the queen needs a dowry. She's got her flowery fake-ass makeup on, black and white like the rest of her opinions. Undisguised red eyes in the bright light, undisclosed if I only noticed from the photos. Sit tight, she's deciding if it's fight or flight. Good thing I showed you, now you know to keep your head low. Basiliophobus. Keep messy maps, but clean notes, and thus they tread their feet off the beaten path and avoid canopies where the blue leaves are dark. Plug your ears tight and scream, sounds float in like daydreams. Reggie's Memonid Farches, the words echo in your head. Don't think it would do much if you said sorry. The sunburn is the least of your worries. It's for the best to just go the long way. No need to test the taxes and the tolls paid. But if you meet his eyes, just bow your head. And if you meet her eyes, just bow your head. Pull in your lead, hold your arms in tight, keep them by your side, and don't protect your head. And you will be fine.
You're listening to All the Best on FBI Radio 94.5. I'm Kwame Slusher. In our next story, Lucie tells us of a little girl and a certain regal crustacean.
Back in the 90s, Mum and I would comb Gordon's Bay, a secluded beach between Coogee and Clovelly. We called it the Dirty Beach, as it was unkempt and stormy with a strong seaweed reek. Tidal waves of rubbish would heave upon its shore. Within this sea tangle, I would hunt. I would hunt for treasure. Mind you, we took very seriously the big sign, which forbade stealing shells, urchins, or sea stars. Even as a child, I instinctively knew that the natural treasures of a seaside belonged at the beach, not half crushed and forgotten in the bottom of my toy box. Rubbish and McDonald's toys and lost jewellery left behind by careless people was, however, fair game. Still, the king of crabs who lorded over the dirty beach was very greedy. The king of crabs, I knew, wanted it all. Clambering barefoot over the rocks, I'd often imagine myself falling through into one of the rock pools. Descending into a dark cave system. There, I'd be swarmed by soldier crab armies, gripping fish hooks and plastic knives, who'd bring me before the king of crabs, an immense beast with cruel black dot eyes and claws like war blades. "I am King Gordon," he would chitter. "This is my bay, and you, human girl child, have been helping yourself to my treasure." I'd escape, of course, with some sort of incredibly clever, completely impossible plan. I knew it would come in a burst of brilliance once the king of crabs had me tightly bundled in seaweed binds, ready to drown me, ready to take every treasure. In my dreams, I prepared myself to overthrow his monarchy, to become the first king of crustaceans amongst small human girl children, to become the girl King Gordon. I never did fall down that rock pool, or haven't, not yet. But as the years went on, Instagram snaps and Twitter tags saw the dirty beach grow into a social media sensation. #Gordon's Bay. More families discovered it, spades and towels in hand, and Triple J blared obnoxiously from the boomboxes of trendy beach-going teens. These days, Gordon's Bay is well kept and usually quite pristine. Time has revealed the real treasure of Gordon's Bay to be the bay itself and the joy it brings to those who swim across it, snorkel its reef, or explore its rocky caverns, chasing the occasional crab. Even so, I remember the days when it was stormy and forgotten and lined with tangled seaweed and rubbish and hidden treasure, and the threat of ever-watchful King Gordon and his army. Some secret part of me sometimes wonders whether King Gordon might live there still. Occasionally stealing a tourist or two from the water. Perhaps there is a new child king. Long live. End.
This is All the Best, and you're on FBI Radio. I'm Kwame Slusher. And our third story is a Kafkaesque, not so cute meet cute, as Jin makes eye contact with a cockroach.
I used to ride the escalator at the end of the good line a lot. Pro tip, the best nasi goreng is around the corner in a hidden alleyway on Harris Street. The shop is called Lestari. Also, I just realized it starts with the travelator and now we're onto the escalators. Hey, we know what we're doing. On this one particular ride, I noticed a cockroach riding the escalator with me. And it was a few treads ahead of me, so this caused a rare encounter where me and the cockroach met at eye level. The little dude was panicking and running in circles, but I swear, for a split second, it paused and looked me straight in the eyes. We all know that when a roach locks onto you, it will inevitably launch itself at you. Dramatic pause for tension and everything. You know it. Chills went down my spine. My brain synapses going to triple buffer, causing my time perception to turn on slow motion. And instead of a plan to maneuver out of Mr. Roach's launch, I started pontificating the relationship between man and roach. Specifically, my relationship with cockroaches and video rental stores. 1840, Video Easy, Maryland. This is a weird tribute to the show 24 because there's a lot of pop culture references, old pop culture references. I mean, how many of you actually have never been to a video rental store here? Are we at that phase yet? Wow. How old are you? 12? Congratulations. It was the early aughts. I have only been in Australia for a year, and this right here was a momentous occasion for me. You see, I was assigned the role of video rental curator for movie night with the boys. Hell yeah. We had just gone through 2 HSC mock exams in a row this month, and there's nothing more we want than a night of relaxation with a couple of flicks and pizzas at Kev's place. Are those Excel books still in, are they still going? Of course they are. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. This was the first time I was entrusted with this sacred responsibility. I was a shy kid at school, mostly due to me being a new migrant from an ESL background. So being given the chance to show off my taste in films was a very nerdy chance for me to express myself socially. Thank you, David and Margaret, and random early internet film forums. You have prepared me well for this moment. Okay, hands up who doesn't know who David and Margaret is. Alright, next week to me, if we have the chance to meet up again, I'm going to do a 6-hour seminar on who David and Margaret is. They basically are like the daddies and mummies of film in Australia. The gods. So there I was, standing in front of a mountain of VHS sleeves and DVD cases while POD's You of the Nation was faintly blasting through the shop speakers. Like I said, a lot of references to stuff from 20 years ago. The theme I thought should correlate to what I call zeitgeist films of the 90s. You see, back then there were all these movies that shared extremely similar premises. You have your Deep Impact and your Armageddon, both about meteorites hitting Earth. And your Volcano and your Dante's Peak, both about volcanoes. And to catch up to Randy Newman, and who could forget the CGI inset double whammy of A Bug's Life and Ants. Ants is very problematic now if you think about it. Bugs, that's it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the bugs. I've decided my movie night will have the theme of cockroaches. I have a weird obsession with the presence of cockroaches in film and TV. Back in the 90s, before my family migrated to Australia, I was obsessed with Western pop culture via booklet satellite TV and being exposed to the gross-out humor of the 90s MTV and Nickelodeon. So that's Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead. Hands up who's not getting the reference. Hands up who gets my references. Oh, everyone knows Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy. Hell yeah. There's a new King of the Hill apparently. It's really good. Wait, did I just completely forget my reading? I was obsessed with Western pop culture, as you can see, via bootleg satellite TV. I think I read this. Anyway, 90s, the best. And one thing I noticed about this trend of grungy, grimy, gross out aesthetic of the 90s was that there was a lot of cockroach-related media. This is actually true. If you go back to the 90s, they were really loving the cockroaches in media. There's an X-Files episode where it's nothing but live cockroaches running everywhere. Call it a gesture to express my homesickness, or it could possibly be the fact that Papa Roach was blasting from the shop speakers. I was inspired. And so I grabbed Joe's apartment, Mimic, Men in Black, and made a beeline to the checkout counter. Ding, ding. Yeah. Good work, Greg. The best. Yeah. The night has come, and so has Domino's delivery. I'm very proud of drawing pizzas. That's a good pizza. You can see the olives. The boys had up close to the Sony Trinitron. I was hoping someone could pick up on the not-so-subtle connections between the titles, but everyone seems to pay more attention to the family-sized Chicken Supreme. Oi, Jing, why didn't you get a new Jet Li movie? All these movies are old. Said Kev. Kev, you bozo. New movies are $6 each. It would have gone up to $18. Yeah, or even the Adam Sandler movie. Whatever, I haven't seen this Mimic movie. Put that on. Goddamn Philistines. At least they picked the best movie of the three. I picked up a DVD case and dragged my feet over to the TV. Deflated, I didn't impress anyone at all with my movie curation. And then it happened, the click of the plastic case is followed by the sound of 1,000 little butt legs shuffling. A whole nest full of baby roaches swarmed out, blotting out the white Vito Easy DVD case with their gross pale brown color, spreading themselves all over Kevin Chan's living room. What follows are the piercing shriek of Rohit, Pete stomping on roach-infested pizzas, and Kevin Chan yelling at me, telling me I'm banned from movie night forever. It was absolute chaos, but it was beautiful. The moment was transcendental to me. Actual roaches flying out of a movie about roaches. The poetry of life manifest. Or just an early prototype for 4DX cinema. This disgusting but frankly quite quotidian incident actually had a profound effect on my pursuit to become a storyteller. A pursuit to find the beauty in the mundane and even the ugly. And my obsession with roach narrative only kept growing from there too. Kafka's Metamorphosis is my favorite, always playing as the Zerg in StarCraft. Hell, I even sought out early releases of the Cockroaches, aka the Wiggles. We all know that, right? Like the Wiggles used to start out as the cockroaches. And staring at you, little guy, it's thanks to your ancestors that I realized my passion as a storyteller. And I want to weave a story where you, little roach on the escalator, you are the protagonist. Because frankly, you deserve...
You're listening to All the Best on FBI Radio 94.5. I'm Kwame Slusher. In our final story, or song, Giddy meets her tall knight with a shining umbrella.
Hello. My name is Giddy, and this is my baritone ukulele. Her name is Lorian. And we are going to close this out by singing you a story. It's a story, call back to earlier, about a time that a stranger was really kind to me. And so my story starts on a really beautiful sunny day. And so I left my house on this sunny day in a cute little sundress, and I went about my business, and then I got the bus home. And as soon as I stepped off the bus, like the second I stepped off the bus, the greatest deluge I had ever experienced in my life just kind of unloaded on my head. It was like a universe-guided personal attack, right? Like it was like something out of a corny movie. And I was wet, right? Like I was uncomfortably wet. Like my hair was dripping everywhere. The insides of my shoes were wet. My underwear was wet. Like it was a torrential downpour. So that was fine. But then this tall man appears next to me, and he's dry, right? Because he's got an umbrella. But he takes his umbrella and he puts it over my head. So now we're both uncomfortably wet. And he just walks with me all the way to my house. And then he walks off back into the rain with his umbrella whistling. And I don't know how you guys feel about this story. I feel like every time I tell it, I'm like, if you were there, like with the right energy, this is super cute, and with the wrong energy, this is super creepy. But I was there and you weren't, and it was cute. But I think it just stuck with me, right? And I think it's because he didn't want anything from me. He didn't even really help me, right? Like he just got super wet with me. But sometimes that's like the kindest thing you can do, right? Like when a torrential downpour unloads on someone else and they're super wet, whether it's physical, like in my case, or metaphorical, sometimes the nicest thing you can do is notice that it's happened and just walk with them until it's over. And so obviously like this is my very personal like actual story, but it's kind of not just my story, because I think everyone's had like something like that that's happened where somebody's noticed them or showed up for them in a small but meaningful way at a time that they really needed it. So I feel like this is kind of all of our story, and with that in mind, I would like to invite us to make it a collective experience by inviting some audience participation. My song doesn't really have a chorus, but it has a little bit that repeats over and over again. It's very, very simple, and it works okay when I sing it alone, but it works really, really beautifully when everybody joins in with me. So it's completely non-compulsory, but I'm going to show you how it goes, right? La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Do you want to try that together one more time? Just humor again. 1, 2, 3. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. My God, I feel like there's 100 like people from a choir in here. You guys sound so beautiful. All right, this is my song Raindrop Tiara. I hope you guys enjoy it. Do you remember when you walked me home in the rain? In November 2008. I'm feeling the warm spring sun on my back when that guy in the sky starts to cry, and I am drenched to the bone in 2 seconds flat. Do you remember when you walked me home in the rain? There you are, a sandy-haired knight with cornflower eyes and a shining umbrella. And you wave it gallantly over my head, and you say, do you need a ride, princess? I think I'm going your way. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Redundantly, I point out to you that you haven't a clue where I am headed to. And you shrug and you wink and you say with a South Dublin accent, I wouldn't want you to get wet. And I roll my eyes, I say, well, you're a little too late. As I bite back the great big grin spreading over my face. And you say, well, that's true, but it's better now than never. And I don't want you to get wetter. 1, 2, 3. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. So off we go, talking about nothing and the weather. A drowning night and a dripping girl under an umbrella. We don't mention the impracticality, but you say that getting caught in stormy weather suits me, 'cause the raindrops settle in my hair just like a tiara. We get to my place, you don't ask for my number. You say bye princess and you whistle as you walk into the ether. And as I scramble inside where it's warm and dry, I weave a short fairy tale in my mind about a girl in a storm and a night with a shining umbrella. To this day when the sky turns grey and Thor waves his great big hammer, I pop outside in my prettiest dress and I don't take my umbrella. I soak up a little nostalgia and I wear my raindrops here. And I remember when you walked me home in the rain in November 2008.
This is All the Best, and you're on FBI Radio, and I'm Kwame Slusher. And here, in order, are the storytellers that you heard. Millie Jones, Lucie Towers, Jin Hien Lau, and Giddy Pillai. Sound design was by Ramon Briant, Gregory Thorsby, and Hethre Contant. A special thanks to the City of Sydney for supporting this event. The event producers were Phoebe Adler-Ryan, Evie Hillier, Fionn McCabe, Gabe Clark, and Patrick McKenzie. And if you missed out on the last event, there is another one coming with some fresh stories on the 14th of November at the Green Square Library in Zetland. Check our show notes for details. And if you love audio stories, then keep listening to All the Best for unique stories from independent audio makers from so-called Sydney and around the country. Definitely catch our live radio broadcast on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. on FBI Radio 94.5. We also release a brand new episode every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on allthebestradio.com, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Follow us now so you never miss an episode. All the Best is made at FBI Radio on Gadigal Land in association with SYN and 3RRR on Wurundjeri Woi Wurrung and Boon Wurrung lands, and ACCC on Arrente and Wurrumungu lands. The All the Best executive producer is Mel Bakewell. Phoebe Adler-Ryan is our events and partnerships coordinator. Patrick McKenzie is our community coordinator, and a special shout out to some of our amazing volunteers, especially Sharon, Ray, Sue, Lindsay, Andrew, Emma, and Ash, who helped to make All the Best possible. Shining Bird composed our theme music, and Annie Hamilton designed the artwork. We're heard across Australia on the Community Radio Network, and were made possible by the Art Gallery of New South Wales and the Community Broadcasting Foundation. You can find our full archive of more than 600 episodes at allthebestradio.com. I'm Kwame Slusher. Thanks for listening.